Hi everyone, I'm Natalia and welcome to my channel. Today, another fun video for all of you and for me as well. This is all of the tarot decks that I purchased in the year of 2023. As the year comes to an end, I got together everything that I purchased. These are only tarot and oracle decks here. And out of those decks, I have five top hitters, five absolute favorite out of the pile that I purchased. Now, I don't know if the number of how many decks I purchased may or may not surprise you. I tend to keep my tarot and oracle collection together to a max of 50 decks. I try not to go over 50. So decks tend to circulate through my collection relatively quickly, meaning there might be a tarot deck that I purchased and then I just don't really feel it anymore. So I tend to give it away or pass it on to somebody else. So things tend to circulate through things. And when I came back on Tarot YouTube several months ago, I did a live with all of you sharing my complete Tarot and Oracle deck collection. And some of you may have seen and been part of that live. And so you may be surprised that some of the decks I showed are not here anymore. And some of the decks I am showing you were not in that live. That's again because I tend to circulate through things really quickly. And when I did that live, there were a lot of decks that I just didn't really feel anymore, and I gifted them to the viewers. I have 15 total purchases. There were a little bit more, but they were all Tarot de Marseille, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. But I have 15 here more that at least from walking through my house and looking at my tarot shelf where I keep my tarot that I could gather. They're all tarot decks. And out of this 15, 5 are just high recommendations, and we're going to get them last month. So get yourself comfortable, get yourself something nice to drink, maybe sit back and enjoy. All of them are, except for two, the rest are indie decks. And I think all of them except for two, I think only two might be challenging to find if you would be interested. So make yourself comfortable. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Los Angeles today when I'm filming this. A little too warm for November, but that's another story. Okay, so the first deck, this is not the first deck that I purchased in 2023, but the first deck out of this pile of the 2023 collection. This deck I used to have. I gifted it to my friend lady in Spain, and then I ended up repurchasing it because I was working with Divine Feminine and I really wanted it back in my collection. This is an indie deck. It is Abyssal Tarot. It is by Shelley Corbett. You can get it on Etsy. It is the backs always really surprised me about this tarot deck. Let me show you the backs. I always think that I always wonder, it's funny because, I mean, they represent elements, all the elements, fire, air, water, earth, but I just always found them to be so funky. So this is photographic deck that was done all underwater, and it is absolutely stunning. It is a very sexy, very rich deck, very kinky, very BDSM, if that's your thing. Very sexually liberating deck. It is absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous deck. It is very moody. It is very watery. I am very happy to have it back in my collection. There's some decks that come and go and come back, and this is one of them that I am more than thrilled to have back. I had no qualms about repurchasing it. Lady saw this and she said, "You bought it again after gifting it to me?" I said, "Yes, that happens to me often, where I will gift the deck and then I will want it back. And that's all right. It's okay." So this is Abyssal Tarot. Let me know if you have it, if you read with it, what it reads like to you. It can feel very Lilith energy if you're working with Lilith energy. I think it's a very good deck to step into your sexual, sensual self. It's very yummy. Look at this devil card. Throat chakra being choked. So this is Abyssal Tarot back in my collection. I'm very, very happy. And sorry, I'm shaking the table and the camera shaking. And I have no plans on moving this on. Another deck that came into my collection in 2023 was this. I love this green malachite color. This is a tarot of Chimira. It's Arcana of Odion Redon. I don't really know much about it. It's published by Urania Press. You can get it on Etsy. I don't know much about the artist. I also bought a book. There's a big book you can get that comes with this deck if you want more information versus just a booklet. And I really, really, really like this deck. It's aged black. It has this gorgeous bacon. I love this deck because it is very poetic in its illustration. It feels to me like poetry. When I lay it out on a table, it feels very it's interesting. It also feels very a little bit, I don't want to say pessimistic, but it's almost like Freud, Nietzsche, and Dostoevsky got together and had a conversation. It feels like that to me. It's moody, it is evocative, it tends to draw me in. I've been working with it. When I feel like going inwards, it's a very inward stack for me. It has a very winter feel, the time of the year when you just want to self-reflect and go deep into yourself. Let me know if you have this deck. I know that there's another deck, I think it's called, is it Visionary Tarot, also in the deck, that also has some images of this painter. It's a differently done deck, it's done in color. But I was really specifically drawn to this one for its lack of color. And I don't regret one bit. I don't see this deck leaving my collection. I like to have decks that are fresh, new, and unusual, and this is one of them. And just a box alone. This green malachite, although it's hard to kind of fit everything, but this green malachite is one of my favorite green colors. So this is a tarot, Chimira Tarot by Urania Press. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. You know, everything that I bought this year, I love, except I could easily go without 2, maybe 3 decks. I'll talk about them. Mass-produced tarot deck number 3 that I got is the Merger of Crow Tarot. Some of you may have it. I seen it before. I love crows. There's another crow tarot, but I don't gravitate toward it because of the color palette. But I love this coloration. I love everything about this deck. And I never got it because, I don't know, I thought it was a little bit too dark. And then I saw some people talk about how amazing it is. Jess talked about how great it is. Racine on Oval Moon 513 talked about how much it's one of her favorite tarot decks. And there's some YouTubers where what they show, 80% of what they like, chances are I will like too. So that's why I ended up getting it and did not disappoint. I etched mine black. I really wish I had the limited edition red copy with the reds on it, but I also like the black one. It's not a big deal. It surprised me because the booklet gives you a different and a fresh perspective, even though the meanings are very short. They don't go into much of detail, but it does give you a fresh perspective on a lot of the cards. So I was really, really surprised. This is more of a more of a deck that doesn't ask me to pick it up very often. It's a deck that I also used a lot in, like I used it last month, like closer to winter season. It's a deck that you have to be, I feel like you have to be in a mood. At least for me, this is not the deck I could use every single day. This is not the deck I felt inspired to do daily draws from. It wanted to read in multitude of cards for me. It did not want to do just a single daily draw. So for me, this is a very particular mood-inspired deck. Merger of the Crows, you can get it on Amazon. This surprised me and I loved it. And the Bacons, great. I love, and the decks just have such nice artwork, the back and front. Who doesn't love that? So yummy. So this is, yes, was not nice. Can't speak. Okay, so let me show you a deck that I got, and I don't think I'm going to use it. And I want to sell this deck, but I got a mega huge, heavy book that comes with it that you can buy with it. And I don't want to sell it because I just don't even know, can't even fathom how I'm going to ship it without damaging the booklet. So I'm kind of stuck with it. Some of you might gush because some of you might love this deck or have been wanting this deck. If you live in Los Angeles, like Los Angeles, city of LA, or if you live somewhere remotely close where you're willing to, close enough to West Adams in Los Angeles, West LA, I can probably sell it to you for barely anything if you want to come and pick it up. This is Nameless One tarot. I got this tarot. Victoria, if you're watching, are you going, you didn't suggest to buy it for me. I bought it and then I told you I bought it and you said that's a great tarot deck. And it is. It reads like a charm. It's also very Hecate energy tarot deck. There's nothing wrong with it. I separate it by red ribbon. It comes with Oracle. And then I don't have the book that has with it. The book is huge. You have a authentication, have the booklet that comes with it, and this is the deck. It's beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful. The production is beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. It read for me like a charm. So what is wrong with this deck? I think sometimes my analytical mind that likes to study tends to overwhelm me by gravitating toward new systems, even though this is not a new system, and gravitating toward decks that come with humongous, huge guidebooks. And then I just don't use it because I don't have time to dive into detailed guidebook. This deck, the books that I have, that if you have seen it, it's huge. It's a shadow grimoire. It has every single explanation of every single detail on a card and why she has chosen everything and every animal and every color. And to me, it's too much dissecting, too much information for me. I don't have time for that. So I don't really use this deck. And the artwork, while it is gorgeous, I noticed that we're not really vibing as much. Again, great deck. I have nothing but praise to say about this deck. Nameless One, gorgeous production, reads out of the park. I just know that I won't use it. You know, sometimes you get decks like this into your collection where the deck, not a problem. And you're just realizing that not for me. And this is one of them. So this is a Nameless One that I got, and I will have to find somebody who will want it and to rehome to without having to ship that big book and risk it getting damaged. The big book is really, really heavy. And yeah, I just don't want to go through all of that. So this is a Nameless One that was a great deck, but not for me. I wonder if any of you got surprised that I feel this way. Do any of you have the Nameless One? Do any of you also feel this way about it? Let me know. I bought, as I said, I bought about maybe 5 or 7 Terre de Marseille decks. I go through periods where I start reading or rereading a lot of Camille Alice books, and I just get so drawn into Terre de Marseille, which I also love. I love the imagery. I love the simplicity of the cards and complexity at the same time. And so I got a lot of historical reproductions. I'm not going to show them because they're all very, very familiar, but I picked 2 particulars that were actually very fresh and original and not historical reproductions. The first one that I loved is this one. It's called Tarot 23 by, oh my God, Nat, you need goddamn bifocals, by Giorgio Pagameri. I bet I butchered this. You can get it on Etsy, and the backs are like this. This is a very fresh, look at this. All of the people and majors in this deck have such a fresh look to them. The coloration is fresh. It's a joy to work with. It gives me Kim Krantz vibe, in a sense, what Kim Krantz with her Wild Unknown Tarot did to the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It gives me the same type of what this person did to Terre de Marseille, something completely fresh, completely new, very refreshing. It's a great reader. Marseille is just not disappoint, period. Look at that. So this was one that I got, and I really, really love it. And I love having it in my collection. So anytime I go back to Marseille, I'd be happy to use it. Happy to use it. So this is an indie deck. You can look up by Tarot 23, and it will come up. So this is one of the Terre de Marseille that I got. And then there was another one that I also think has a very fresh perspective on it. Oh boy, when the box is a little too snug and you're trying to put cards in the box, but it's a little too, oh boy, my husband is very good at this. I usually use force. My husband calls me bear. And I tend to break things all the time because when I get frustrated, I just use a lot of force. It's a very Russian thing to do. And in the kitchen, I have a lot of appliances and stuff like that. We're not even going to do this. I'll have him do it. Broken because I get so frustrated. Little monster. Okay, the next Tarot de Marseille that I got that I also found very refreshing and I loved is Tarot de Antiquities. This is by Alexander Rosen. Alexander Rosen artwork is phenomenal. You can buy it out at artisantarot.com. I trimmed my copy because I am a crazy trimmer. It comes initially like this when it's not trimmed. And me being me, I had to trim my copy. There is also a very fresh look on, look at that. Oh my God. Phenomenal. This is a very, very fresh look at Terre de Marseille. Also love what Alexandra has done. Look at those cups. Let me find some court cards to some faces rather. Majors to show you what he has done. I think that this is very, very nice. Very nice approach. Look at that. At those hats bleeding. A little bit horror induced, a little bit maybe at times feels grotesque in the most right grotesque way, but very, very lovely. So if you're Terre de Marseille lover and you're looking for something fresh and a new approach, I would say Alexandra Rosen, Terre de Marseille. Yeah, very fun. Trimmed mine and look forward to use it when I'm in the Terre de Marseille mood. So this is another one I bought and have no regrets. So far, we're doing so good. No regrets. I like not having regrets. The next deck that I got in 2013, and I actually have in-depth review of this on my channel, and I love this deck, almost made my top 5 of 2023. This is a box. It is this independently published deck. It is called Serpent of Icons. Comes with a nice hard copy book that I probably should have grabbed to show you all. It is a very interesting deck. This is the backs. And it has its own, its own system. It is majors only with additional cards. Some of the majors have been ordered in different order, and then they also have correspondences according to the traditional order. It is a very, very old witchcraft, traditional craft feel type of deck. It's a great reader. And if you're interested in it, I recommend for you to see my in-depth review on this channel that I also did to get a better understanding and the concept behind the deck. This is a deck that aimed to tap into your will. It aimed to focus on you as a magician, as an operant, aimed to focus on how you will, your energy. It's a great deck. The two people who created it are phenomenal people. Ashandi is an artist that I follow on Instagram, also creates amazing one-of-a-kind jewelry pieces that I have and have worn. So I just have nothing but good things to say. Like I said, it's almost made my top 5, but because I wanted to keep my top to 5 only, I had to restrain and hold myself back. Look at this hermit. Wow. So this is Serpent of Icons, very stunning, one-of-a-kind indie deck. It is published by Anasima Publishing. If you are into unusual decks, unusual even systems and representations, this would be it. Look at that Lilith as a world card. Stunning. So highly, highly recommend. I think that Dennis Poison from Foolish Fish, a phenomenal channel, by the way, here on YouTube, also did a walkthrough of this if you're interested to see. And as I said, I have in-depth review of this. So yeah, almost made my top 5. Serpent of Icons. Okay, last card. It's just every card is so phenomenal. How can I not show all of the cards? Serpent of Icons, and let's just leave this on my desk because I feel like I'm going to be using it in the next couple of days. Next one is a majors only. It was a little bit hard to find. I did find it, and I found it for very reasonable, 26 euros. It is Tarot Universals by Sergio Topi. Sergio Topi has another deck that has been picked up and has been published by Los Carabeo. I forgot the name of it. I used to have it. I got rid of it. But this one I wanted to get for a long, long time. There's the backs. Because Camilla Ellis, who I adore and I adore everything that she does, has this deck. She often features this on her Instagram feed. And every time that I see it, I, for the longest time, been wondering what the heck is this deck. And then finally, I was able to get the name of it. And I was lucky that I was able to find it for 26 euros. It is out of print, but I think you can still find it. The booklet is very interesting. It is not in English, but I was able to translate it using Google Translator, and it's actually a very interesting interpretation of the cards. This is Sergio Topi, Tarot Universals. Love this devil. I just really love the depictions of the majors. It's majors only. It's very, I don't know, fantastic artwork. Absolutely fantastic artwork. Zero regrets having this deck. Love reading with it. Look at this Hanged Man. And I love this. Look at that. The lovers. So yes, phenomenal deck. Highly recommend if you can find it. This is one that I have that is out of print, unfortunately. Next one is might make you all feel uncomfortable. There is, I haven't seen any videos, but I hear there's a lot of debate on YouTube about AI-generated tarot decks. I don't have problem with AI-generated tarot decks personally. I also talked to an artist of this deck because I was curious to learn more about AI, and she was very great at talking to me on Instagram and explaining that in her opinion, AI is not really stealing images because you still have to know how artistically narrate what you want AI to create, and what AI creates is not like the images, but completely something else. And she uses majority of her personal photography in addition to AI in this deck. Francine, who I adore, did a review of this, and she couldn't even get through most of the deck, which made me laugh. It's probably one of the first times where we diverged. I diverged from her opinion. So this is Lilith. It's called Lilith. It's by Lilith and the Machine. It's independently produced. And it has nothing to do with Lilith, by the way, as in the goddess Lilith. It is AI generated that. Like I said, the girl uses majority of her photography. I etched mine. I love the bagans. I love the linen cardstock. It is AI, and some people just get really creeped out how the human hands and the bodies come out looking at AI. Doesn't really bother me at all. It is quite a Rider-Waite Smith deck. It's not a deck for everybody, and if you're strongly opposed to AI-generated decks and you strongly disagree that this should be supported, that's okay, that's valid. I think a lot of views can coexist. I think we're all adults and we can take responsibility and accountability for our choices and decisions. And like I said, I don't see the problem with it. And I talked to the creator, and I also read actually online a great article about AI and understanding it much more deeper. And while it is controversial, I think there's a lot about the process that people are not aware of. And there's a big assumption that it's just taking somebody else's artwork out there and then generating your own images. And I just don't think it's that simple, actually. So this is by Lilith and Machine. You can find her on Instagram. She's a wonderful, 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 very thoughtful, very sweet creator, very, reachable. You can ask her if you want more questions about how she created this tarot deck, if you are on the fence and you feel uncomfortable about AI. But ultimately, do your research and see where your values and where your internal value system is. We all have different value system, and that is okay. So I like this deck. I can say I love this deck. I can say I used it a lot, but I do like it, and I have no interest passing it on. I'm going to keep it in my collection. So this is by Lilith and the Machine. I think it might even be called Lilith. I don't know, it just says Lilith and the Machine. It might be just called Lilith and the Machine. So I think this is the only AI-generated tarot deck I may have. Not sure. Next one is also made my top 5. I also have in-depth review of this deck. You'll notice on this channel, I will tend to do in-depth review of decks that I absolutely adore. And this is one of them. This is Mr. Gaga's deck by Josephine McCarthy. I also have interview with Josephine, which is really interesting if you haven't seen it. And I have also her other deck, Queria Magician's decks that I had for many years now. And this year I purchased this deck, which was all painted by Josephine. I etched mine. I also added the titles to the cards. This is a very unusual deck. It's not a tarot deck. It is its own system. It is a magician's deck. It comes with a great book, or you can also get a free complete PDF of the book online if you don't want to buy it. It's such a good deck if you're doing any magical work to find out where you're at in your magical practice. It is a great deck for dream work and help you with the dream interpretation. I love this deck. It's very special deck to me. I always have it out on my table because this is just very different sort of guidance than having a tarot deck around. I love the artwork in here. There's something very primal about the artwork in this particular deck that Josephine did. There's something very familiar, and there's something very liminal for sure. So if you haven't seen it yet, again, I do have an in-depth review of this deck. I recommend watching it, and love this deck. Love, 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 love having it in my collection. Okay, now top 5 of 2023 that I have purchased, my absolute favorite top 5. I'm trying to think how. Okay, why don't we do this? The first two that I'm going to show are great. And then I'm going to show, okay, let me put them in an order of 5, 4, 3, 2, and number 1. Okay, let's make it fun. In the 5th place, top 5, is a deck I also trimmed, and I also have in-depth review of this deck. Yeah, there's in-depth review of this deck. I think I have one more of them that has in-depth review. This is the Hecate Tarot. The name of the creators, there's 2 creators, slips me. It's not an easy name, but I do have in-depth review of this deck. Again, I trimmed mine and I added the titles on the bottom. This is specifically a deck that is also its own system. It is based on Hecate epithets. It's all based on Hecate and her lore. It reads really well. When I am working and in a connection with Hecate, and I have been working with her for a number of years, and I also have taken Jack Rail's Hecate class, which I think is a phenomenal class to take. This deck was so instrumental to me when I was going through thresholds, through periods of my life where the changes were coming. It was very supportive, very guiding, very clear reader. It's very unusual deck. The images often look like they've been stretched out, and I think perhaps they have been because it's self-produced, or maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. And sometimes the artwork can be slightly blurry. I don't mind it at all. You know, I see this deck as a gift from the creators. And so I am okay with the way they ended up making it. I trust that was their vision. So this is the Hecate Tarot deck, and I do have in-depth review of it. And this is my top 5 out of my 2023 tarot decks. Number 4 is the other decks that I have, apart from Surgery Tapoy deck, that is an indie deck. And this particular edition that I have is the first edition, which is also out of print. But this deck is back in print and sold by creator on her website. It's the same, just back in a little bit different. So it is, you can definitely buy it, and you can buy it for a reasonable price. Just the edition that I have is the first edition. This is Bea Nettles Mountain Dream Tarot. And this is, as far as I know, the first ever photographic deck, ever. There's a fascinating, I think I may have in-depth of this deck as well. I think I should. Bea Nettles has an interesting story. When she was making this deck, she had to ask family and friends and people in her, where she was living, to pose for her. She tells the story how there has started to get all these mystical things happening to people who posed for her. The person who she asked to pose for death has stated and didn't want to pose for a while. And then when they did pose, it turned out that they were actually going through life-threatening, I believe that life-threatening or kind of a serious illness at the time. And so they had to confront their own death. It's interesting, she asked them to pose for a death card while they had to confront their own deaths and experiences. This deck is very special to me. It is the only deck that I have that is such slam copycat of Rider-Waite-Smith in terms of juxtaposition of images. And it doesn't bother me only because this deck is so special. It's special because it has human beings depicted on it. And all of these human beings some of them are still alive. Some of them already no longer with us. So to me, this is a very special deck because these are human spirits that are imbibed in this deck. And whether they're with us or no longer with us, their energy is in this deck. And it's almost like working with those human spirits to aid you in clarity. It is ridiculously amazing divinatory deck. It divines beautifully. It gives very clear answers. I am so glad I have this deck in my collection. I had a client many years ago. I'm trying to find this card for you. I had a client many years ago who, when she found out that I do tarot cards, told me that she has this deck and that's the only deck she has. And I remember back then, here's the deck card. This ginormous cedars, so great. And I remember looking this up and not being interested, and now having co-maturity in tarot. Here's B. Nettles herself. She posts in a few pictures as herself. I just think it's a great deck. It's, like I said, very Rider-Waite Smith, but reads so well. Highly recommend. You can get it easily on her website. Sure, you can get this first edition, but you can get other edition. And I think this is a very special gem. I will never part with. And if I part with, I think my friend Victoria wants it. So she will get it as a gift. This was number 2, right? Number 4, right? So top 5 was the Hecate Tarot. Number 4 is B. Nettles Mountain Dream Tarot. Number 3 in my top 5 for 2023. Ooh. The one, I'm so sorry. The one, I need to find a way to, because my laptop is sitting on my desk, and every time I move the desk, it jiggles. I need to figure out a way to do this. Okay. It was tough. I knew which one was number 1 for sure. But number 2 and 3 were like so close. So side by side. I'm still trying to think which one is number 3 and number 2 placement, because they're so close. Who gets bronze? Who gets silver? Okay. If I had to go, the bronze will have to go to this one. You've seen me gush about this deck. This is a collage deck, very Zosi oriented, by Gabriela Herstig. It is called Goddess of Love Tarot. You can get it on Amazon. I've been obsessing about it. I've been loving it. As you can see, so much that it's been very difficult for me to decide whether this gets bronze or silver medal for year 2023. I love this deck. It reads so well. I etched mine in red Sharpie, making it very sexy. It is such a feminine, divine feminine, Aphrodite, sensuality, sexuality, lustfulness deck. It is great. The booklet is really good. I really love this tarot deck. I'm so glad I have it. Oh, just definitely made my top 5 for 2023 for sure, even though it is in a 3rd place. Hey, yeah, it's pretty close, runner up there. The majors are goddesses from all over the world. I love how they chose this type of blue with the pink. I adore how the earth has malachite green, my favorite green. I think this collage is fresh. It's something that I wasn't expecting to click with, but right out of the box, I was in love with this. Oops, sorry, I have hair in my lashes. The curse of having bangs. Highly recommend. If you've been watching this deck on Instagram and through YouTubers who you enjoy watching and they've been gushing about it and you're on a fence, just get it. You will not be disappointed. Look at this tower. Yeah, love this deck. Okay, so this is Goddess of Love Tarot, Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. Highly recommend. This is my number 3 out of 5 from my 2023 purchases. Number 2 is not going to surprise those of you who've been following me. And it is Ritual Tarot, H Mine in Black. This is the first edition. I adore the cardstock. I bought a second edition just so that I can have the last card. And I have not used it at all, the second edition. I need to find a way to pass it on, even though it has the last card, because the cardstock in this first edition, I just love so much. I love this deck. Oh my goodness, for collage deck. Tierra May really knocked it out of the park. It's an indie production. I know there was a lot of tarot talk on tarot YouTube that I personally saw of people complaining about this deck being pricey. I don't understand, because indie decks, in my understanding that I come across, are all about, I'm so sorry guys, is this really affecting my eyes? The indie decks that I don't know about all of you, but am I the only one who sees indie decks that are $50 and up? I've seen indie decks go up to $200, $250. The Nameless One is an expensive indie deck. Miss Gaga's is an expensive indie deck. I'm trying to see what pretty much all the decks I showed you, indie decks, were expensive indie decks. And so I get really surprised when people suddenly think that an indie deck is being too expensive. This one is, as I recall, I bought it for, was it? I think it was, how much was it? I know that it was no more than $100. And for me, that's like an indie deck price. I also seen people complain about collage, saying that there's wrinkles in collage. I've seen many collage decks that have wrinkles in collage. I think it's artistic. It could be artistic choice to go for that texture. We don't know. I don't know. In general, I made my own Oracle deck, and one of the things I learned after making my own Oracle deck, which was just made for me and a few friends, but by making this Oracle deck, I learned that it's easy to pass judgment on the creators unless we actually been in the shoes of making something like that ourselves. It takes a lot to make something. I have had decks, indie decks, that I purchased that production maybe was not to my value exchange, that at least I felt was not my value exchange, or maybe something that I did not like, and I just passed it on. Not every indie deck is going to be on par with what I consider to be value exchange from my monetary value, but this one absolutely is, in my opinion. It is such a great tarot deck, and I think you've seen a lot of really great YouTubers. Anna from Astro Lady, Tracy and Owl Moon 513, and some other people talk about this deck too. Kasia from Tarot Map, and I think there's a reason for that. It is a great deck. It reads really, really well. I cannot wait for Tierra May to make her Oracle deck. Cannot wait. So this is Ritual Tarot number 2. Number 1 will not surprise some of you. And I have an in-depth review of this deck. And I can't get over how much I love this deck. Is Circle of Doors. Circle of Doors, right? Or is it Circle of Kiss? I can't even now remember the name because I'm so excited about it. Circle of Doors Tarot. Created by 2 women artists, book is written by a tarot scholar. It's all feminine deck. It is all photography deck. It is amazing. I've been gushing about it. You've been seeing me gushing about it. I will shut up about it as I show you pictures, images, because if you're interested, there's in-depth review of it. You can go hear me gush about it now. There. This is very, as I said, Crone energy tarot deck for me. Very sage, very wise, very mature. It is beautiful. It is phenomenal. It reads so soulful, so soulful. so soulful. There was a reading that I did where I almost wanted to cry because it pulled a thread within me, and I couldn't. It was so resonant with how I was feeling. Oh, love this deck. So this is my number one deck of 2023. And I would not be surprised if this is going to be my number one of all time. Yes, I know. I love Zos tarot deck like crazy. I think Zos has no number to it. It's my soul deck. It's beyond numbers, beyond being numbered. Zos is just, it's there. It's beyond numbers. So this one, Zos is zero, I guess. I'm breaking my rule beyond numbers. So this is a Circle of Doors tarot deck. Highly, highly recommend. So these are my all 2023 tarot deck purchases, and out of 15, my top 5, this being number 1. Comment below, let me know, do you have any of these decks? Do any of this seem like really interesting to you? Have you been wanting to pick up any of this? What are your, maybe just comment below and share what have been your favorite 2023 tarot decks or your top 5. You can do a VR if you want and do the same thing. What did you buy and which top 5 have been your favorites? Those are always fun to watch. Just tag me along so that I can also check it out and watch it. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.